Hey, what's up? Today I want to take you through a tech tour here at Victory Outreach Church of Las Vegas. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our lighting here. So here on our stage, we have 4 mover heads, and these mover lights have been very, very good to us, very reliable. These mover heads just set up an atmosphere here in our sanctuary, and we love it. They're easy to program back in our DMX board, which I'll show you in just a little bit. So the next thing we have here in our setup on our stage is our LED strips, and we have a couple sets of these on this side of the stage and also on the left side of the stage, and they're all being controlled through DMX decoders. Here on the back, we have a couple decoders that send the DMX signal to our DMX controller, and they're really great. You could change them. They don't do much. They just kind of do an RGB setup, but they're great. Ever since we set them up, they just give such a good kind of pop to the background. It's one thing I suggest for you to do is just black out your entire background. That way the lighting could really stand out in your sanctuary. Now on our very ends, we have 4 different 10-foot trusses, and these are industrial trusses. And right at the bottom of these, we have some park cans that we just light up the trusses, kind of highlight the edges, and just give it some character here on stage rather than just having the LED strips, the mover heads. And also what the trusses do is they keep the stage kind of close in, because our stage is pretty wide, and so the trusses kind of give it some separation from the wall and from the ends as well. Now over here on our side, we have our hazer, and we use our Chave Hurricane hazer that really does good. And kind of some of the things that we had to do with our hazer is that we had to put some fans around here. Our AC system kind of does a good job circulating the haze, but just so it could spread out, what we do is we just have a couple fans set up to be able to push our haze to the other side of the stage, because at the moment we only have one haze machine. So but it does a good job. Just that little guy right there does a good job spreading the entire haze throughout the room. Now as we look the center of our stage, we have our brand new LED wall, and this exact LED wall actually is about 16 by 9, about 16 and a half feet by 9 feet, 9.5 feet, and it's the Black Diamond series, and it's just been so good to us. We've had it now for over a couple months, and it just brings the quality of your service just to a whole nother level. We were so blessed to partner with Young Wisdom Partners, and they were the ones that made all the installation, and they just went above and beyond to set up this screen. And up on the top of the LED wall, we have 4 different washer lights. I believe they're ADJ, American DJ, and they just give the screen some character, really kind of brings it all together. Rather than just having the trusses on the side, it really glues the entire stage together. And also it provides backlight for the speaker. So when you have your speaker, you have your main key light, which I'll kind of turn to right now. You have your main key light, and then you have your backlight to kind of bring some separation to your speaker from the LED wall. And up here on the top, we have our 4 different key lights, and there are temperature change, so you could make it really warm or really cool, depending on kind of the setting that you want to set up. But they're really great. We've had them up there for some time. We want to make some adjustments to our lighting to kind of bring some more depth to the different sides, the musicians and the singers. Now over here by our drum set, we have a nice wash light to just kind of give the drums some illumination, some color. And this is RGB, so we could do it amber, or we could do, you know, the different colors mixes to kind of match the stage setup. Just gives us some, you know, character during the live stream. That way there's the drummer isn't just back here in a black hole, but we actually have them colored up, and you can see the highlight very well. Now with our lighting, the way we control our lighting is through a DMX controller, and right now we have the different settings set up, the different fixtures, and all we have to do is with the push of a button, you could change the scene of the lighting, as you can see right there, for the worship or the preaching, for our worship songs, or for the preacher, to kind of match even the LED wall and the lighting scheme that's taking place on stage. All right, now to move on to the audio things of our setup. Up in the top right here, we have 2 QSEs K12s.2, and they are 2,000 watts. We hung them up. That way we're able to get some good coverage of our entire sanctuary. Our sanctuary is very wide instead of deep. and so we kind of wanted to hang them up. We had them down on stands, but we brought them up. That way we're able to cover the entire sanctuary. And up on the sides over here, we have some fills. Because our sanctuary is just very wide, we have these two QSC, the K12s, pointing towards the center, and then we have the K8s pointing to this side of the sanctuary, and another one on the far end covering that side of the sanctuary as well. And then here in the bottom, we have our monitors. And right now at the moment, we have these JBL monitors that just been sounding really, really good. And they're run over there to a QSC amp. They're really good. They do the job. They do the job very well. So to continue on with our audio equipment, we have right here front and center our Yamaha TF3. And this digital mixer has been with us now for about 5 years, and it's just a beast. It just continues to do its job flawlessly. The only thing I would say about it is sometimes the faders get a little stuck, and that's just something you could fix by calibrating the mixer. And this is just a great all-around digital mixer with our volunteers. And currently right now we're not fully digital. We have a digital board. We don't have a digital snake. We just have an analog snake going to the back. And the TF3 has just been a workhorse for us. It's been great, easy, very easy to use with our volunteers. And so I highly recommend that board as well. And now let's go ahead and start with our media section. And we're running a Mac Mini, the brand new M1 chip. And we run it here with Pro Presenter. Right here is the controller for our LED wall that sends the HDMI signal to the wall through our Cat5 cable that we run around. Now from our Mac Mini, we do not live stream. The only thing this does is our Pro Presenter. That's all it does. It does playback, it does music, and it does our Pro Presenter, and that's all it does. Now over here on top of the door, kind of center of the sanctuary, we have our stage monitor set up to the Mac Mini. And so really the Mac Mini is sending out 3 feeds. It's sending out the feed to the monitor, to their monitor, and then to the LED wall, and then to this stage monitor just for lyrics or the times or the different announcements to kind of roll back there, the scriptures. And so we have that stage monitor connected as well. And now we're right here in our video section where our team does all the live switching and sends out the live stream for YouTube. The system that we use to send out our live stream is the Atem Mini Pro by Blackmagic. The Atem Mini Pro has 4 different inputs that we could send into it. The first 3 is kind of our 3 cameras that we have. We have our 2 stationary cameras and this mobile camera that you're looking into. And all of these cameras right here, this is all a Blackmagic design system. And so the Atem Mini Pro, from here, we record our services and we also encode them into YouTube. So from here, our team sends out the signal to YouTube through the internet. You just have an Ethernet port in the back and set up your stream key, and you can send out your services. The Atem Mini Pro section is for the person who's gonna be producing our services and switching the video feeds. But this screen right here is for the rest of our team to kind of see what's taking place, what's live, what's not live, and all that good stuff. All right, so now from the video switcher that you saw, the Atem Mini Pro, we go and we receive all the video feeds from our Blackmagic cameras, and they're all standing on these fluid head tripods just to have some smooth movement from our cameras. All of these Blackmagic cameras are the 4K, the Pocket 4K, and they're all running HDMI with their power. And this is the 70-200 lens. We just wanted that lens here because we have about 70 feet of throw to get to the preacher, and so those are just great lenses. The other cameras have more closer lenses, but this one right here, we wanted the 70-200. That way it gets nice up and close if we need a close-up of the speaker, a nice close-up shot. All right, so this is our second camera, our stationary camera. We did some different things here. We wanted a bit more of movement. The only difference that we could see is that we now have a dolly shot, and this dolly shot is just to create some movement, and real simple, but it just gives the video some character, some movement. Instead of just having it in one place, it really gives it some movement during the service, during the worship. And we have it really low, kind of like at eye level, because we want to kind of capture the people as well. It kind of brings our congregation online together with our room, and that way they're able to see people jumping and worshiping and see their hands just worshiping together. All right, now we have the third camera in our setup, and that is our wireless camera. and we have the same camera, the BlackmagicPocket 4K. The only difference is we have a V-mount battery on the bottom, and all we have to do is charge that, and that powers not just the camera, but it powers also the transmitter, the wireless HDMI transmitter. And this transmitter specifically is the Holland Mars 300 Pro, and it's been good. There's a bit of a latency, probably about 7 frames of latency, but we just kind of correct that through audio, kind of match between the video feed of the other cameras and this one, and kind of put the audio right in the middle. And so we kind of solved that problem with that. We still have some latency, but for the price, you can't beat it. It just does a great job. We've taken this all the way to the back, and it never loses signal. So this is our mobile cam that kind of goes around. Our team takes it right there with the instruments or the singers, or up at the altar, or during the message. So this is just a good all-around kind of Swiss Army knife setup to be able to catch the special moments of our service. Now, the final part of this setup that kind of glues our team together throughout the service is these Eartec Ultralite intercom systems. We have 4 of these headsets to our 3 camera operators, and then 1 for our video switching producer. And they just work great. If you want to mute yourself, you just put it up. If you want to speak to your team member, you put it down. And so this is just a great solution for your team to be able to communicate, which is really, really important, just to have that open line of communication with each other, to not have to deal with cables. It's just all wireless. We charge the batteries and it's game on. So this has been our setup here at Victory Arch Church of Las Vegas. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video if it brought some value to you. And if you'd like to see some more content like this, or have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. And together we're going to take our tech teams to the next level.